Kung POW Enter the Fist, 2002 action comedy based off of martial arts films from very old martial arts films that were serious. And Steve Odenkirk decided he's going to just put himself in there and he's going to voice every single line in the movie, every character. What a goofy film this is.
So the story's about a guy who kills another person's whole family and leaves a baby. The baby grows up and he has a revenge mission. He spends the whole movie trying to avenge his family and kill the guy who murdered his whole family.
Yes, the evil Master Payne, who eventually in this film decides he'd rather be known as Betty. So yeah, Betty is the one who destroyed the Chosen One's chance at having a family, and he goes on the revenge mission, but from a baby when he rolls down the hill. And eventually he's raised by various rodents and wildlife creatures. And on he walked. And sometimes he drove. Absolutely ridiculous premise for a movie. Let's get into what worked for this movie. What worked is the comedy is there. It is definitely, there are some moments in this film where I burst out laughing. It's surprising how funny it is at some moments. I think one of my favorite things is the dialogue being delayed from a different language. So there'd be a guy, he would walk up and be like, hey, have you ever seen that guy before? And then the other guy goes, I don't know.
Yeah, because they're like making fun of like overdubbed kung fu movies.
They're parodying the dubs from old movies. Yeah, it's really good. A lot of funny moments, a lot of ridiculous characters, like the one-breasted superhero woman.
Whoa.
Whoa. My name is Whoa.
Whoa, indeed.
Yeah, when she flies down and then falls in the crates.
It reminds you of all the older spoof movies like Hot Shots and Airplane.
Yes.
A lot of people tripping and falling.
A lot of funny
like
one-liners, a lot of like goofy, like very uncoordinated people falling on stuff. A lot of funny stuff in this movie. That's what worked for me really, is that this is a great movie for turning on and just enjoying some cheap laughs pretty much.
Yeah.
It's definitely good for that. That's its one redeeming quality really.
So for me, the comedy bits were funny. It was funny that, the whole movie was funny. But what really worked for me, and this is more of a technical thing, I guess, is the fact that they took footage from another older film and then green screened the Chosen One in pretty much every shot. And they did a good job. It was great. He looked like he was in the original film.
Yeah,
so that worked.
There was very few moments where it was like kind of obvious where, he's green screened in, but most of the movie you can't tell.
Yeah, there were some bits that slipped through. For sure,
and that's to be expected, right? This wasn't exactly like a big budget film or anything. But I did.
I don't think it was.
I did find it funny that he voice acted everyone. I don't know if you know that, but Steve Odenkirk literally voice acted every single person.
I didn't know that, but the voices were hilarious. Yes. You have some random country western accent and a lot of high pitch, strange accents for the men.
One, Master Payne's in town.
Yeah, and a lot of noises, right? A lot of just random noises. So that's what worked. The CGI was terrible, but the fact that they took an old movie and made it somewhat believable that he was in the original.
Yeah,
that worked.
I had some fun with it. I'll go into what didn't work for me. A lot of this movie came out in 2002. This is a 24-year-old movie now, and a lot of the comedy is very. At this point, it didn't age well. There were some one-liners that happened and some scenes that were supposed to be funny, and I just kind of was like, oh. Just waiting for the next funny thing to happen, because that's pretty much all you're waiting on all movie. That's really, really the only thing that lacks is like, it's got, like you said, terrible CGI, like the alien ships, the French aliens. It looks really corny. And, again, it's hard to fault it for that because this is supposed to be like a dumb comedy. But yeah, some of the comedy doesn't land anymore, and some of the CGI was pretty bad.
Yeah, one of the coolest scenes, when he was fighting the cow, and it also looked probably the worst.
My background,
But if you use your imagination, that was a fun scene. And,
it was.
I was laughing, and it would look great if it looked real.
I like the Matrix shot in there where he does the Neo, flying under, like
with
my
the
background there, the milk shots, and he's just fantastic.
Or the slow motion kick like Trinity does. So what didn't work for me? There was a couple things. The story was really lacking. It kind of just dragged out this one sort of revenge story, and it was just so weak. It was relying on the comedy to get you through, and the CGI. The CGI was terrible. That didn't work for me at all. I couldn't even use my imagination to kind of fill it in.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a movie that's got a lot of depth. It's only 82 minutes long, I think.
Not very long.
It's not very long, and it does drag. I agree with you there. You're like waiting for the next moment to laugh because the story's just completely not there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't want to fault it too much for that because he used old kung fu movie and added himself in. So whatever the runtime was, he had to make it work. But yeah, I would say my favorite moment, my standout moments, would probably be the cow fighting scene with the faux Matrix stuff. That was hilarious. All of the moments where Master Tang is talking and he's like Taco Bell, Encho Dorito, Taco Burrito. Stupid stuff like that made me laugh. Master Payne with his sidekick with the boombox, and then he plays the big butt song, and Master Tang gets beat by him, and he's like, "Beware of Betty's song about big butts. He beats you up while he plays it." Yeah,
like a warning.
Yeah.
You hear that song, beware.
Exactly. Yeah, no, there's a lot of funny stuff in here. The squirrel at the end, like, "Thank you, squirrel. You saved me with your soft, cushy body." And then he's got the palm print in his body, and he puts the peanuts in the palm print, and the squirrel scuttles away with the palm print. Those are my favorite moments.
Those were good ones. I would say the cow was one of my standout moments too. I enjoy older kung fu movies, and I like watching the fights, even though these were kind of joke comedy fights. The fight scenes were kind of cool. So I would say those probably stood out the most.
One other thing about this movie that's pretty funny I'd like to note on is the student at Master Tang's dojo, Wimplo.
Wimplo.
He's like, "Do not worry about Wimplo, for he is an idiot. We have purposely trained him backwards as a joke." So when he gets beat up, he thinks he wins a fight. That's fantastic. That was really funny.
Yeah.
That's Kung Pao Enter the Fist. There's not much here, but it is funny. If you watch it one time, you're definitely fulfilled in all you need from this, though.
That might be it. Just one time.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and give it my final score. I'm going to give this movie a 2. It's not a 1 where it would have absolutely no redeeming qualities of any kind, because it did make me laugh. I had some very burst out laugh moments where I actually was almost coming to tears at some of them. I was like, it's so funny. But, there's a lot of bad, too, so that's why I can't give it any higher than a 2. That's where I'm going to be.
I'm also going to give this movie a 2. Geez, for almost the same reasons. You can watch it once and you'll probably laugh. Maybe you're having a party and having fun with your friends. You could throw it on and you'll laugh, but I wouldn't recommend you rewatch this. And I would only recommend you watch this if you're a fan of kind of the spoof genre.
Yeah. Well, that's Kung Pao Enter the Fist. We really appreciate you guys watching, and if you want to leave us a movie that you like to review, leave it in the comments, and we will try to get to it as soon as we possibly can. And let us know what you thought of this movie. If you've seen it before, if you never plan to see it, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed our review of this movie. Let us know in the comments, what did you think of the movie? Drop your score on our 1 to 5 scale and tell us if you agree or disagree with our take. Also, if you have a movie suggestion, go ahead and put it in the comments. We read every comment. We love getting the community's ideas. If you're new here, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Turn on the notifications, hit the bell, and don't miss our next No BS short review. Thanks again for hanging out with the S2S Film Bros, and we'll see you next time.